What's up, YouTube? It's Nooch, the Console Samurai. And I'm here to tell you about Console Wars. Late last week, the numbers were released for the month of January for Xbox One versus PlayStation 4 sales. Not the games, just the consoles. PlayStation 4 doubled the Xbox One sales for last month, 140 to 271,000. That's quite a bit for 1 month. But why? Why is it that Xbox, because if you look at their lifetime numbers, they're also far behind lifetime. And granted, the PlayStation 4 came out first, and came out a week first, so that's not really a good excuse. So why? Why is the PlayStation 4 so far ahead right now? Could be the cost. When the two systems came out, the Xbox One came out at $500, whereas the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4 came out at $400. Now, there was a reason for this. The Xbox One has a camera in the box. This camera allows you to play Kinect games. I don't think there's any on the Xbox One yet, but it lets you Skype, which is cool. It lets you log right in. You walk into the room while it's on, and it'll recognize you, and it'll pull your gamer tag up from anywhere. But the real benefit to it, the camera's just a gimmick. It's nothing. Camera should not even really be in the box. I don't think it should be a peripheral. The microphone has some cool things. It lets you do voice commands. You can tell the Xbox turn on, and it turns on. It adds an element of realism to the games. I believe it's Dead Rising 3, that if you make a noise, you, as the player, you make a noise, you drop something, the zombies in the game will turn to look at you because they heard that noise. They will face that. Granted, it has no gameplay mechanic, but it's kind of cool, actually. It's kind of interesting to see them kind of crossing the lines between reality and video games. But is it worth $100? I don't think so. The camera doesn't really do much. The microphone does, but you could have bolted that onto the front. Maybe saved a little bit of money. You don't need the camera. You could have been on par with PlayStation. That might have helped you. Or maybe the hardware. PlayStation 4's hardware is a little bit better. Not much. A little bit better. For some reason, there's some weird programming in a couple of the games that the Xbox One version is vastly inferior to the PlayStation 4 version. It plays at half the frame rate, which would be noticeable. Just putting it out there. I don't know why it does that. It's not hardware. For some reason, it seems to be a software issue. And I will tell you this, it is not, both systems had hardware issues when they first came out. So that's not it. It's not, the Return of the Red Ring of Death, because the Xbox One had the hard drive, the disk drive malfunction, but the PlayStation 4 had the white line of death, or red line of death. So they both had their issues. It's about the same number had the same issues at launch. So that's not a factor. At least it shouldn't be. Maybe not everyone knows that both sides had this issue. So what is it? Maybe it's the way that Microsoft handled E3. When Microsoft came out at E3, the Electronics Entertainment Expo, they said that you're not going to be able to play used games. You can't rent games, you can't borrow games. Basically, you need to buy the full retail version of every game you ever intend to play, or you got to pay us a little something under the table. Which, okay, I kind of understand your point. You lose a lot of money with things like GameStop and things like that. I understand you lose a lot of money. So tax them. Don't tax the gamers. We're the ones who buy the games. So maybe that's why. Or maybe it's the always-on requirement that you need to be logged in once every 24 hours. So your licensing on the games as part of this DRM would not expire. Every 24 hours we had to log in. which is very strange, I feel. But PlayStation came out and said, we're not going to do any of that at all. When you buy the game, that's it. You don't have to worry about reselling it. You don't have to worry about loaning it to somebody. It's not permanently registered to you. And we're not going to do the always-on requirement. So that definitely helped them out before the consoles were even launched. That helped PlayStation out quite a bit. And Microsoft, all they did was go, okay, we're gonna do a 180, and we're just gonna go and do the things the way we always were gonna, the way we did in the previous console generations. So we just we made asses of ourselves for essentially nothing. Or if that's not it, maybe it was the way that the CEO of Microsoft, or of Xbox, the president of Xbox, maybe it's the way he handled being told that not everyone had a reliable, always-on internet connection when he said, well then, this isn't for you. Go play Xbox 360. And I know you might be watching this going, oh, he didn't say it that way. He pretty much said. He discounted everyone in the remaining 37 states who the new Xbox One was not going to work in 37 states. There's only 50 states in the United States. Just in case some of you don't know, that is 3/4. Approximately 3/4. 50 doesn't break quite as easily. So 3/4 of the country wasn't really able to play this, and he didn't care. Like, whatever. As long as his profits come in, he doesn't care. And he showed that, which is not what you want to show when you're trying to come up with a new product. You don't be the hard ass and go, I only want your money. I don't really care if you just give me, come on, shut up, let's talk more money. You don't want to do that, because PlayStation came out and went, we know what you want. You know, put their arm around us. We know what you want, and we're going to give it to you. Because all that did was make us go, we're going to go with them. Which is not what you want. You don't want to have lost the battle already. Which a lot of people say that is exactly what happened. Or, then you get onto the minor things. The name, Xbone. It's a stupid name. But, argument's sake, PlayStation 4? You couldn't come up with a new name for this one? Really? Yeah, the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo. That was cool. But now you're just version 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not original either. So, obviously the name, not really fair. Hardware issue that I mentioned before, not fair. So, what is it then? You tell me. You tell me what you think. Why is it that you think that Xbox One is trailing so far behind? Is Xbox just getting its stride? Is that what it is? They kind of had a crappy launch, but in a year or two, they're going to be great. They're going to take over. They're going to blow PS4 out of the water. Or, have you heard what I've heard? That all these third-party developers are starting to jump ship. They're leaving. Now, that's an unconfirmed rumor. But if it's true, that'll turn the tides as well. But anyway, tell me what you think. In the comments down below. Let me know. Once again, this is Console Samurai. See you around.